by for Wyoming Hookin Huntin Outdoors with your host, Drew Kirby.
Hey, this is Luke Combs.
I am Morgan Wallen.
I'm Riley Green.
I'm Travis Denning.
Hey, I'm Aaron Lewis.
Hey, it's Luke Bryan.
I'm Tim McGraw.
What's up? This is Ian Munsick.
Wyoming Hookin Huntin Outdoors.
Welcome in to Wyoming Hookin Huntin Outdoors, where, here at the show, we don't like to just keep it in one area. We like to broaden our horizons, and Janet is in with the Wyoming Game and Fish Department. And Janet, there are a lot of things that we've never talked about on this program that I think is very beneficial. And one thing was a recent meeting that was done in the Casper office about fish scarring. We have never once spoken anything about fish scarring.
Well, you're right, Drew. And part of that reason was because we have been doing a lot of the science behind fish scarring and some of the hooking injury that might be caused on the North Platte River. And we have just finished a lot of that data up. We're in the process of writing up kind of an administrative report is what we call it internally. And our fish biologists are just now kind of marching this information out to the public. And we're getting ready to have a fish regulation cycle in the next couple years. And we wanted to get this information out early so that we can talk with the public and talk with folks that love to visit the North Platte River for fishing time and any other reasons to kind of learn a little bit about what we're seeing out there and some things that might be changing and learning how we can maybe take some action to make things maintain its fantastic fishery.
One of the things when you started talking about fish scarring, I thought this was a big scientific term, like something that I was going to have to go to the dictionary and look up. And when I did, basically it's exactly what it sounds like. There's no need for an explanation other than the fact of how is this a big problem in the North Platte?
And you're exactly right. It is exactly what it sounds like. Hooking injury and scars, right? So we all know how we catch fish, and a lot of times when anglers remove a fish and do catch and release, right, which is what a lot of folks practice, the barb on the hook can cause injury to the fish. And so we have two great folks in the room with us today. We have Kevin Gelwicks, who is out of Laramie. He's what we call one of our fisheries bigwigs. And then we have our local fisheries supervisor, Matt Hahn, who was conducting the meeting with Jeff Glade, and we are ready to talk to folks about this.
Science is a major part of Wyoming Game and Fish. When you say biologist, they literally are on the ground as biologists, have the degree to back them up. And Matt obviously always gives us great information and is always such a big part of everything. And Matt, being so close to home here with the North Platte River being such a fishery that people come from all over the world, I'm sure there are a lot of fish that have seen some pretty major scarring over the years.
We started looking at this a few years back when we started seeing this becoming more and more prevalent just in our standard sampling when we're out doing population estimates and things like that. We, became pretty evident that a lot of these fish have kind of these elevated levels of hook scarring. And what really piqued our interest was noticing that part of the data that we collect when we're getting lengths and weights on these fish is we calculate an index called relative weight, which is like the body condition of that fish. So how fat is it for its length, or how heavy is it for its length? And typically the higher the value, the better the condition the fish is in. And some of these fish that had this, pretty obvious hook scarring on them correlated with a lower body condition. And, there's a lot of implications with lowered body condition in terms of their ability to spawn, how many eggs they produce, how viable those eggs are. In a river that we're managing as a wild trout fishery that relies on natural reproduction to drive that population, any impact to the fish's reproductive fitness through this injury process is obviously pretty interesting to us. And we figured we better take a really close look at this and try to kind of figure out what's going on and what's the magnitude of the problem, and is there anything we can do to mitigate it.
Does the future of the trout here in the North Platte, are they at risk because of this issue?
Certainly could be. We've monitored over the years. We've seen kind of a reduction in reproductive success, like over the last 5 or 6 years, kind of correlating with years when we should have had better recruitment given the water flows. We know the conditions in the river that are conducive to really successful spawning in terms of flows and turbidity and things like that. And some years physical water conditions are poor and we get less than average recruitment. We expect that, but in years when we have perfect conditions, we expect to have really big year classes produced. And in the last couple of years when we've had really good conditions, we haven't seen big year classes. And so over time that sort of starts to tamp your population down because you're losing fish out of the top end of the population just through natural mortality and stuff faster than they're being recruited in as younger fish. And so it just drives your population down slowly over time. And that's definitely what we're seeing right now.
The obvious on this would be, you want to slow that process down. And Kevin, I would say on a bigger level, this is something that, you have taken to the state level to really, see if we can get in more details and information about the scarring process and how to eliminate that on a bigger level.
I guess I give Jeff and Matt a lot of credit for starting to look at this in the North Platte here in the Casper region. I guess on a higher level, we wanted to know if we're seeing similar injuries in major fisheries throughout the state. So Jeff was able to provide information to the biologists throughout the Wyoming Game and Fish Department, and they were able to track this in several other populations, such as the Snake River, the Green River, the New Fork, and the Bighorn. And I guess what we saw is this problem seems to be a bigger issue on the North Platte here near Casper than most of these other populations in the state.
Is that just because of the number of fishermen that come through here, or is there something different with the breed of fish?
No, it's not so much the type of fish, but it's the fishery is one of the only fisheries in the state that is basically a year-round fishery. Not only does it see a lot more anglers in general, they're fishing throughout the year. So these fish are basically getting recycled over and over.
So Matt, we, like Kevin just said, this is one of the most popular fisheries or busiest fisheries throughout the state. How do we combat this? What do we do in the future to try and eliminate this being a horrible situation?
Yeah, I think there's really kind of a two-pronged approach. One being education, getting the word out to people, especially people who aren't really experienced anglers. How can you catch and release fish with the least amount of impact on the fish? And every summer we do it's getting warm and pinch your barbs and everything like that, but like really that doesn't just apply during the summer when water temperatures get high. People can use smaller hooks. Spread your fishing out. Don't stick in one spot. Like if there's a good hole, say you're float fishing, don't back row the same hole and yard 30 fish out of it. Keep moving, kind of spread the use out a bit. Same goes with river reach. If the anglers could spread themselves out, that helps. There's really good information all over through our website, any other state agency, Trout Unlimited. There's just lots of good information out there on how to do this voluntarily. But beyond that, the second stage of that is starting to look at some potential regulations, things like terminal tackle restrictions, where maybe you make it barbless hooks only so that people don't have the option legally, the legal option anyway, to use barbed hooks. And so there's some things that we can do from a regulatory standpoint to try to help, but really, it boils down to a lot of education and getting the message out to people just to kind of be cognizant that, catch and release, fishing's fun. It's awesome to release these fish for, future people to enjoy catching and to perpetuate the population in a wild fishery. But at the same time, if you're doing a lot of damage to that fish, then it just doesn't really lend itself that well to a catch and release fishery. So,
and Drew, just like Matt was saying, these two things that we're hoping to do, education and possible regulations. I want the public to know that at this time, we are not proposing a regulation yet, right? It's down the road. It might be coming, but we really want people to think outside of the box. I really want to encourage people to keep that in mind, right? This is something that they can help us turn around pretty easily. And it can be a really simple fix. And we look forward to working with the public on that.
So, Matt, real quickly, what should people do if they have a fish that it's not in good shape after they catch it, but they're like, oh, I still want to release it. I don't want to keep it because whether it goes to your creel limit or you're just not going to cook them and you just want to return them.
Yeah, it's no different than in the summer when we talked about fishing in warmer water. If you've got a fish, say you caught it and it's hooked really badly, say in the gills, it's bleeding, it's pretty obvious that, man, this fish is in tough shape. If it's legal, and it's not always legal to keep it, but if it is legal to keep it, then we always encourage people to keep it. Even if you don't maybe like eating trout or whatever, you probably know somebody that does, that'd be happy to throw that thing on the grill or whatever. So that's always like the preferred option instead of just releasing it. But, if you're fishing, say, Gray Reef to Lesby, where the limit's one fish and it has to be over 20 inches, if that's an 18-inch fish, you have to release it legally. And so, that's a tough one. And we've had this question come up a lot with things like ice fishing, pulling fish up out of deep water and things like that. It's a reality of angling, and there's things that people can do. If you say you're fishing a big streamer and you notice that, man, like a lot of the fish I'm catching, I'm hooking in the gills for whatever reason this day, it's a good idea to change your tactics up, use something minimally invasive like a small nymph or something, a small barbless nymph. There's things that people can do to try to mitigate this through their own actions, but also understanding that, fishing is fishing, and there's going to be times when a fish gets hooked bad.
But there's even simple things that people can do. I think everybody carries, forceps around now and can easily remove the hook a little bit instead of like grabbing it and kind of shaking the fish off and whipping it back in. Just even little things like that are going to help this situation.
Are there future plans to kind of monitor places like Alcova or Pathfinder or even Glendo to see what the condition is on other species of fish there?
Yeah, we do annual monitoring on all the major reservoirs, and we do not see hooking injury being a problem on any of the standing waters. We look at hundreds, if not thousands, of fish out of these reservoirs every year, and we don't really see it as a problem in reservoirs. Occasionally, you'll see a fish that was maybe caught on a treble hook and released. But I think like a big difference between, say, Alcova and Gray Reef, for instance, is that Gray Reef and Alcova get about the same number of angler days in a year. So about equal pressure. The difference is the catch rates on Gray Reef are 4 or 5 times higher than they are on Alcova. So number one, you got a lot more fish being caught. The second thing is we essentially have zero harvest out of the Gray Reef reach. When we do creel surveys, it's, every once in a blue moon, we'll see somebody that harvested a fish. So it's predominantly catch and release versus Alcova. I would say 50 to 60% of the fish that get caught are harvested because it's just a different fishery. People are going there to try to catch fish to take home and eat. There's some release, but there's also a lot of harvest. So, those fish, if they're harvested, obviously it doesn't matter if they were caught on a treble hook or whatever, because that fish is, destined for your smoker. And so we just have not seen this issue in the reservoir fisheries like we do in the predominantly catch and release reaches of the North Platte. And it's all essentially upstream of Government Bridge. Like, we're not seeing issues through town or downstream of town. It's up in the areas where, everybody knows are the busiest. Gray Reef to Lusby, the Miracle Mile, Fremont Canyon, the After Bay. Those were the big, really big areas where we saw a lot of injury.
Well, just as always, I love the science that goes into it. I love the work that goes into it, and how much is put into keeping the fisheries the best in the country. And we obviously know now that this is some of the best in the state of Wyoming all year round. So we appreciate all the hard work Game and Fish does, and I know that you guys are going to continue to monitor this problem and issue, and the future looks pretty good of scarring going away, maybe.
Let's hope, Drew, and we just we'll keep people posted, and don't forget to check the website and let us know if you have any fantastic ideas to help us.
It's Wyoming Hookin and Huntin Outdoors.
At Rocky Mountain Discount Sports, it's Drew along with Brian Woodward. And boy, Brian, we have got a big weekend because yesterday was the big shoot from the Casper HD Outdoors, the Casper Skeet Club. It's been a week.
A long day.
Yeah, sure was. But here in a little bit, we're going to have some of the features from that. But the store is rocking, and people are coming in and grabbing rain gear. They're grabbing wool socks. They're grabbing sweatpants and anything they can put on.
Shotgun shells. You guys were out shooting shotguns on Friday. Shooting some clay targets up on Coal Mountain Road. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, one of the best parts about coming in here is if you need something for the outdoors, you can get it here. And when I was looking at shotgun shells, I bought a flat of them and got the best low price that I could get. And then I could get the clays. I got the thrower. I got it all, and all it took me is 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's we try to at least make sure that you're going to find what you need when you need it. Right. So whether it's shooting sports and needing hearing protection and clays, or you're going to head out to the lake or out to the river, I mean, we're gonna try and get you in and out as quick as you can.
So next weekend is the Wyoming Walleye Stampede. It's the first one. Last weekend was the Tough Man, and really it's going to kind of be comparable weather-wise, where it maybe rain a little bit. It's going to be cold early. You guys have this great weather gear out here now that I was checking it out just the other day, and boy, you've got about anything and everything you need rain-wise.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this spring fishing, we had, last week we had some pretty nice weather up until, I don't know what, Friday morning we wake up to snow. And you just never know what you're going to come across. So, we've talked about just layering up, but having a good set of rain gear this time of year is critical. And whether you get, a pair that's insulated, or you just get something that you just throw over your jacket and your pants, something a little lightweight. This striker gear that we have, I've been super impressed with. I wore that a little bit out at the Tough Man last week, and looks like I'm going to be wearing quite a bit of it this next week.
Yeah, it's going to definitely be an option for you when you're heading out on the boat. And who knows? I mean, we're into May now, so we may get snow into June, just the way Mother Nature feels.
Watch your dirty little mouth.
I know, but by God, it could happen.
Yeah, it could happen. But as long as we're prepared for it, this next week, it looks like we got quite a bit of wind, especially hitting us. So that's it's nice to have something to just kind of break that wind. Whether it's performance sweatshirt or a nice set of bibs or rain gear.
So we were out fishing last weekend. You were on your boat. I was with Tony, and you guys caught some fish. We didn't catch that many fish. I didn't catch one dang fish all day. I think I got a couple of bites. But one of the things that I did, I changed everything up as much as I could, because when we would sit there for 20 minutes and not get anything. So this time of year, that's kind of where you're at. And now you said the leeches are in and the good minnow supply. So
yeah, I certainly like throwing plastic, and unfortunately, when the water temperatures are cold, that bite sometimes just isn't there, and you have to just kind of work things a little bit slower. So the minnow bite's been really good. The leeches we got in this week are fantastic. And so I did catch some fish on some slip bobbers, and I love running leeches under bobbers. So I'm super excited to get those out here this next week. But, the afternoons have been warming up, and, I like to be versatile. I mean, I had a rod set up with some plastics. I had a rod set up with a crankbait. So we caught a couple crappie up in some shallows, and I grabbed the crankbait and pitched that, and no luck with the crankbait, but they sure like the minnows. So we had a good day, and, it got a little windy on us that afternoon as well.
Yeah. And a bad day on the water is better than any day at work, usually, because you think about what you're out doing, and even if it's just gathering information, now that, the plastics aren't going to work on a situation like that. And, and that's the best part about it. And you go to Glendale, you go to Alcova, you got a bunch of options.
Yeah, I mean, there's, a lot of times, we talk to, even like with goose hunting, right? We wake up in the morning and the wind's just howling here in Casper, but, you drive 30 miles outside of town and it's like crickets. There's dead calm, and we're not too far away from Boise. That sits over in a valley that's got great walleye and trout fishing. And a lot of times when the wind's howling here, you could make an extra half-hour trip and be on Boise Reservoir and just have a great day. So, make sure you just kind of download yourself whatever the best weather app that you can find, and one that you believe in. Certainly like to believe our local weathermen, but we all know we can't.
Right. Yeah. And if you're to ask Don Day, he's going to say, don't go over after those apps. Those apps don't know anything.
No, they don't know anything. But I think we're all just rolling the dice with that. But again, you're definitely not going to have the chance if you sit there on your couch. So,
right.
Get out and enjoy life a little bit. And, we've got, we're blessed in Wyoming to have some of the best hunting and fishing opportunities around. So, it's good to just, get out there and make a drive. You make a drive, but hopefully you can get on the water.
Yeah, and with the Stampede coming up this week, and then everybody kind of getting into the routine, not to forget the licenses, because if you got your license last May, then you need to get them redone.
Yeah, and that's always a tricky one. I mean, it used to be, first of the year, every year, everybody's expired, but now it's 365 days from the day you bought it. So, if you don't have a lifetime license, then make sure you pull your license out and double check it.
Now, and you also can go ahead and pay for your license anytime. You can,
Sure.
if you're just upgrading. Like I had my conservation stamp at the beginning of the year, my fishing license in the middle of the year.
Right.
So it really gets confusing after a while.
Yeah, and if you bought your license last year in June, you could still come into the store now and renew it for another year, and it will renew it from that June time frame.
Right.
So you're not shorting yourself out months, but do it when it's convenient for you, but don't get caught with that one.
Absolutely. So get in here and check it out at Rocky Mountain Discount Sports.
It's Wyoming Hookin and Huntin Outdoors.
It's Wyoming Hookin and Huntin Outdoors. Today we're on location where we're with the HD Outdoors. Clays for the Brave Shoot. Tony Kaiser, I'm on your team, and Cedar Ridge Outfitters. Got to hunt up there with elk last year, but you're always doing a lot of things for a lot of organizations, including HD Outdoors, and it's just a great cause and a great day to come out and shoot.
It is. It's our pleasure to give back to the veterans and tell them thanks and try and provide a fun atmosphere and provide a service that they can come out and still see that there are people out there who want to help them and say thank you for everything that they've done.
Yeah, it's really cool to see all the veterans come out, and that's the best part about HC Outdoors is it's an outlet for them to come out and have some camaraderie and get some stuff done. But so we're on this team. We're gonna shoot. Have you been shooting clays very long, and have you done it recently?
I have been shooting clays quite a bit. I haven't shot any here for a while, so we'll see how good I am. I brought out the big boy toy, so we'll see how I do.
Right. I got my grandpa's old 12 gauge, so that's going to be it's like shooting a cannon, I think. But
oh yeah, it is. I mean, there are some guys up here that I've shot with, so we'll see how we do today. It's all for a good cause and having fun and enjoying and making friends.
Now, Cedar Ridge Outfitters, things looking good for the fall for hunting?
It is. We've got several guys in for bulls. It looks like we got 3 bull tags and 4 or 5 antelope tags and 1 cow tag donated. So we're going to take out some vets for HD Outdoors and have fun with them and make some memories and have a good time.
Cool. Thanks, Tony.
You bet.
All right, here we are, the HD Outdoor shoot, Clays for the Brave. Lindsay, how are things looking today? Pretty good turnout.
Good turnout, and actually after yesterday we have some beautiful weather, so this is going to be awesome. Yesterday was a little scary for me.
Yeah. I saw it starting to snow yesterday, and I was like, I can't shoot in the snow. What's going on here?
I know. I was the same. I was like, man, our shooter's not going to show up, and now look at this. There's like no wind, not a cloud in the sky. This is gorgeous. Everybody's here eating breakfast. We're getting all the waivers signed. We're getting ready to kick this thing off here in about an hour, so it's awesome.
The Calcutta last night was a huge success. A lot of people showed up, a lot of money made for HD Outdoors, and as obvious, you guys always put together a really good event. Last night just topped the cake.
Thank you. It was awesome. We had almost 200 people in the room. It was a huge turnout, biggest turnout we've ever had. We were super, super excited and very thankful. We did raise a lot of money. I don't know exactly how much yet. I will know at the end of today, but I do know it was way more than last year, so that's going to help us out. We got a big hunting season coming up and a lot of events this summer, and it was very, very helpful.
One of the things people always ask me is, where does the money go that is raised? And it all goes right back into the organization. That's the best part about HD Outdoors.
Yep. So nobody in our organization gets paid. So every dollar goes right back into it. And like I always tell everybody, the one promise that we do make, well, we make a lot of promises that we keep, but one is that we're 100% all-inclusive. So any veteran that comes our way, no matter what event that they're doing, it's 100% paid for and taken care of. Zero burden on the veteran. Yeah,
and definitely a great cause, and we're going to have a great day of shooting. And at the end, we're going to have an award ceremony where you and I are competing for the worst shot.
We are. I mean, I'm not going to shoot today, but if I was shooting, I guarantee I would probably win that. So, and then we have the top shooter of the day. If there's a tie, they're going to have a little Nerf competition at Gruner Brothers. So that'll be fun. We're going to shoot some beer cans. So should be a good time.
People are really hoping that there's a tie.
I know.
Just to shoot the Nerf gun.
If not, we might just have to do it anyway.
Yeah, all right. Well, Lindsay, thanks again. And thanks for putting on a great ordeal for all the veterans and keeping them in line and helping them out.
You're welcome. Thanks for you guys' support.
All right, Brian. We've been talking about this event for quite a while, and I got stocked up with everything I needed at the store because, of course, you guys have everything for bird shooting, clay shooting, and this is a little intimidating.
Oh, this is a great time. Boy, it's a beautiful day out here today. We don't have the big W, and a lot of guys hanging out. Looks like Taco John's brought breakfast burritos, and just gonna be a great day. It's gorgeous out here.
It sure is, and I overdressed. I thought, oh man, it's gonna be chilly today, and we always talk about layering up, and boy, did I layer up.
I'm not gonna lie, I brought a jacket too, but the sweatshirt's gonna be fine today, and. Man, it's just it's awesome to get out here and spend some time with these veterans and learn a little bit about them and really just thank them and appreciate their service that they provided for us.
Yeah, and that's again like talking to Lindsay. That's one of the best parts about this organization is it's all about the veterans, and they do all these events and the recoil therapy and then Clays for the Brave. So there's always events going on, and Rocky Mountain Discount Sports has been a backer of this from the beginning.
Yeah, that the event or the HD Outdoors in general is just, it's just a worthy cause. It's taking care of Wyoming veterans, and it's getting people out in the field. It's letting guys, once a month, out at Riverbend shoot clays off the 5 stand in the back, and really just gives guys something to look forward to and just that camaraderie to just get out and do stuff. It's tough when you're sitting in your house all day long and you're thinking too much.
Right. Yeah. Well, do you have your game plan down for the day? And I know it's been a while since you probably cracked some clays. But
point and shoot.
and that really is it. People get into the aiming and stuff. You don't aim on these.
No, point and shoot. And it's not about how many clays people break out here today. It's just about having a good time. And I'm sure there's going to be a couple guys strutting around that are good, that are just some great shooters out here. So I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not sure which eye to close or open, but after yesterday, I think we need maybe both of them.
They're both squinting a little bit.
All right, Brian, thanks a lot, man. Bob Borden here with Riverbend Hunting and Shooting Preserve, and boy, Bob, you guys do a lot with HD Outdoors, and it really is an honor to be part of it, isn't it?
Yes. No, we feel very honored and privileged to just be able to help out and give back to the veterans that did everything for us. So we love getting them out there and shooting and hunting, and it just makes us happy to see them get happy.
And then you guys do a lot of shooting out at Riverbend too, so you offer up some clay shooting for the veterans.
Yep, we do once a month. We do it's called recoil therapy, and and the veterans come out, and it's hosted by HD Outdoors, and so it's all paid for. So if you're a veteran, you can come out and shoot, and we do it one week or one day. Normally it's the first Friday of the month, and so you come out and shoot, and we feed you and a whole 9 yards.
And you know, with Riverbend, you train dogs, and you've trained dogs for some of the veterans here too, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, that's what we do all spring and summer is we train client dogs, and so that's our fun time, and then we roll into hunting season and we have even more fun. Yeah, no doubt. Well, make sure you get out there and check it out at Riverbend Hunting and Shooting, and lots of fun stuff happening out there. And if you're a veteran, pay attention to social media and find out when recoil therapy is. It really is a great time for veterans. It is. It's super fun. Well, we appreciate it, Bob. All right, thank you. The HD Outdoors Clays for the Brave is over for 2023, and with Denton, man, you guys picked up a big win. You had a big day today.
Yep, it was a good day. This is our third time shooting the HD Outdoors shoot. It's always a fun time. Everybody should come and shoot it. It's a good time. It supports HD Outdoors and all the veteran hunts that they do, and it's always a good time.
There was a little bit of a discrepancy in the final, but you guys had a huge day. I mean, you guys shot higher than anybody by a long shot.
Yeah, we had a kind of a loaded team. There's 2 former college shooters on here, 2 other full-time shooters a lot of shooters that shoot competitions all the time.
Right. So and that helps in the long run. These were hard. I shot in it, and there were some of these that are hard for a guy that only does this once every 4 years.
Yeah, definitely. It takes practice to be good at this sport.
So you've been doing this for quite a long time, and you guys have won this a couple of times, haven't you?
Yep. Now this is our second time back-to-back winning it. We took second our first year. Same guys, Hardy, Cole, Troy Ellis, they're all good shooters. Very good, man. Congratulations, and boy, heck of a shooting this day. So congrats. Thank you.
Definitely a fantastic day here, at the Casper Skeet Club, and boy, they were telling us earlier that if you want to get in on this Skeet Club, you could become a member for only $30 a year and go out and use the facilities as much as you want. If you're someone that hasn't done a whole lot of skeet shooting or clay shooting, well, your opportunity to do this is right here by the event center, the Fort Wyoming Center here in Casper. So it is a great time when you're doing this shooting, and a lot of great folks coming out to help out HD Outdoors. They do a lot of big hunts and a lot of big things, fishing trips, and really just being a shoulder for a lot of these veterans that are maybe going through a rough time. So you want to be part of it, go to HDOutdoorsWyoming.org, HDOutdoorsWyo.org, and check it out. HD Outdoors, what a great time we had here today, and we appreciate you listening here on Wyoming Hookin and Huntin Outdoors.
Wyoming Hookin and Huntin Outdoors with Drew Kirby. If you have a question, want to make a comment, or have an idea for a show topic, message us on the My Country mobile app. Wyoming Hookin and Huntin Outdoors.